Welcome, everyone, to the Plastic Card Podcast. Cool. My name is Gavin, and I'm with my co-host, Fonzarelli. And co-host and, Call of Duty Tamagotchi farmer,
yes,
Fonzie.
That's what they know me in the streets.
Oh, yes. Yep. Ooh, I like you got the shock thingies.
Yeah, we'll see if they work. They're so cheap where it's like, I'm sure they do nothing, so we'll see how it actually does.
I mean, it's gonna make less noise when I do this.
When there's an earthquake? Sure, okay, that's good that you're testing
Are you not just like constantly
Oh yeah, I'm making it.
Slapping your microphone? Every time people walk in the room, I'm like, knock! Slapping my microphone.
On my OnlyFans page, that's what I'm telling you.
Oh my god.
Gavin, how are you doing?
With the data leak on the OnlyFans.
Was there a data leak?
Yeah, it was for the fans. So the people that are subscribed.
Oh,
if I understand it correctly, yeah. So
yikes. Because you think if anywhere is going to be secure, it's going to be on your OnlyFans page. Like, I don't want
right. That's all I think of on OnlyFans, OnlyFan, whatever it's
OnlyFans,
called.
Yeah. Do you remember there was
Magoo?
That's my new site that I'm working on. Do you remember there was another site for people to cheat on for like older and that one got data leaked. Do you remember that was like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah,
whatever?
What's that called?
It's like Farmers Only. No, it was called.
It had it was like a guy's name basically. It was Stephen McCall.
Right. Yeah, it had this like sneaky name because it was where people were hooking up and like who were married, and that was a whole thing.
Yeah,
but, that got leaked.
That was just though. I feel like that was proper.
A little bit, yeah.
Justice. This is like, well, I mean,
it's just people, fans of chicks.
The people show their butthole in private. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know what.
Yep. Although I do like with
or whatever they're doing.
I assume they're doing that.
There's gonna be a bit of that.
But I mean, I dig that that's where that whole thing exists because with people going into the adult industry, it's like there's always been a weird like predatory, fucked up scene. So now people I'm gonna make my own channel. You pay me directly, and I do whatever I decide to do or whatever. I like that idea.
Right, so and it's kind of a nice middle ground too. Like there's people that want to do like I don't know other kinds of photography and stuff that's not necessarily like porn or necessarily erotic. So it's some. I only know of that sector of it. I don't know if there's like a non. It's
tough. I imagine for people that aren't doing that, trying to get known, but it's.
I just have one guy on my Twitter that's like posting stuff with people that do that, and I'm like, or retweeting. I'm like, is that all there is? I don't know that there's like a Mr. Rogers of the.
He's just a clean guy. He's like, I'm just trying to deliver, my perspective.
There's that weird. God, was it Mr. Noodle out in?
Mr. Noodle.
Seattle.
And this isn't sexual?
No, I'm gonna mess it up.
Okay.
Anyway, we should move on from there. How was your weekend?
It was good. I played some video games. We talked about we can go into Bloodroot eventually, but I got to play Bloodroot. Was playing some. I'm on a quest to collect all the Tony Hawk games because they're not online at all. So
all of them though.
All of them, yeah. Well, the ones that I admire.
You don't want to stop at Underground 2?
That's where I actually stopped because maybe I'll dabble in American Wasteland a little bit, but that franchise does.
Oh, I did like American Wasteland.
Yeah, it was decent.
That was good.
But yeah, I'm on a quest to collect them because they've been removed completely. The only one that's online now is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, which is like the shit show of all of them. That was a recent one that came out a couple years ago. But it was like, it was terrible. No one talked about it because it sucks. But I'm going through and buying them online because I bought a PS2 recently, like off eBay. And so I'm just buying them and playing them. And they're all dope games. I love them. The soundtracks still slap. Like they still fucking...
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, man. They just nailed it at that time period. And I always think of like, how would they do it now? Like, how would they mix the right amount of like...
You just do it again.
Yeah. As far as like the soundtrack goes, like how do you... And what would that soundtrack sound like? Because I'm so out of the loop. So what would be the cool new like rock stuff and hip hop stuff?
I mean, I imagine now I don't know this for sure, but I imagine a lot of Tony Hawk stuff was inspired by like Vans, like the Vans tours and stuff, and like bringing up all these artists who weren't super well known,
right,
and giving them a spotlight. So I think that was some of that. But I also don't know because I wasn't old enough to know music at the time.
Yeah, no, a lot of stuff I found was through Tony Hawk. Like that's how nuts it was.
Everyone I talk to, even people that don't play video games, they'll talk about Tony Hawk and all the music they found through there, like Power Man 5000. I just put that one track on loop. I don't think that was a thing. I think I had to manually restart it every time. On the shitty N64 version with no audio for it.
Did it not?
I don't think it did.
Or just like garbled or maybe limited music too.
Yeah.
Although it's funny because playing the actual mode, I think when you're playing like the single player, the career, it's like 2-minute sessions, and then the song ends or whatever. So
Right.
anytime I'll catch that song and it plays longer than the 2 minutes, I'm always like, oh, this is weird. Like I know when the level
Oh,
ends.
because it's been edited down.
Yeah, and when I hear it like past that, I'm like, oh no, like I think I'm supposed to hear this full version of the song, but
It's the extended version for perverts.
for OnlyFans.com.
Oh my god!
You know what?
I'm curious what your extension here was. You brought it back. You
Oh
hit it.
yeah. So I mean, I like to introduce you as
Gamer bed owner.
So yeah, you're indie game dev extraordinaire and also recent gamer bed owner, Gavin Jones. Have you seen this gamer bed thing? I feel like this is right up your alley. Let's check this out. So this is from.
I was gonna say, is this like the time I had sex with a girl who was on her Apple Watch during?
No, it says somehow I missteps.
Oh no!
No, this is from PC Gamer. It's going around online everywhere, but it's this gamer bed you can buy, and we're looking at pictures of it now. But it's released in, I want to say, China. But you can check it out. It's pretty dope, actually. We could easily talk shit, but it's like it's a bed with all these cool like tables and like TV mount, and you got your little soda area and fucking.
I fucking hate it.
I mean, I don't know if it comes in that dope sweatsuit or dope sweatsuit because I do want that, but
This was like made by someone like trying to make fun of gamers. I feel like no.
look, get out of my room, Mom, because I'm gaming right now in my bed, so don't worry about it. Yeah, so let's go to scrub some of the stuff. This is from PCGamer.com.
At least the first guy had a beanbag.
Is that what? Okay, I didn't notice that. Let's actually check it out again. Is it a change? Oh, you're right. So
Yeah.
maybe, or there's like some kind of weird inflatable tube thing going on. I don't know, but. Yeah, so and then maybe it's scalable for whatever size bed you have as well. But
This reminds me so much of oh my god, the fucking
iPad set, yeah.
Oh god, this is Wally.
It is.
We're
Wally,
experiencing
yeah.
Wally.
like he doesn't
although
have
that
to-
is kind of cool, admittedly.
Right. The
You're
lazy
not.
ass in me, yes, wants this now, but
That's not gonna fall on your face because we've
Right.
all dropped the cell phone on our face.
yeah. Or my hand gets tired for some reason when this phone is not heavy at all, just
Right.
like slightly lifting it up and just over it.
This is.
You think Gavin gonna put some money down on this?
God.
There
At
you
least this person with his lube in the back.
It's blurred out. It could be toothpaste. You don't know.
It's this dude is set for coronavirus. He's like, I don't need to fucking leave my bed.
Exactly.
I got my noodles. I got to get up to poop, and that's it.
Or with the Gamer Chair 2.0, you don't have to move at all. You can get it done right there. This
What
is
is
just
that?
that's like an end thing concept. Okay, they're just kind of going to other
I don't.
rooms that are similar to this, but I mean, I should read the
So
article.
that's
Everyone should
just a
read the article.
projector.
Yeah, it's just a projector. I don't know. The
That's-
real fucking meat of this is that gamer bed.
I think. I mean, it's.
Something.
This is like someone's taking the like we've all had days where we don't want to leave the bed. We just want to sit there, have a lazy ass Sunday, and play some video games. This is taking it a bit far. This is committing that to a lifestyle.
You're definitely gonna be alone doing this though, right? Like I feel like
Yeah.
it's tough to try and bring home someone from the club and they see this like when they roll
Well, that's why it's a twin.
Well, the first bed looks bigger. Oh no, it's a beanbag thing I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That's true. But say, you want to bring somebody home from a night of hanging out, it's good luck on this. Or you're cooler somehow.
Or
when they
now
see
you have
this.
two monitors, so you can each have one while you're playing. I think the other thing this strongly reminds me of, there's this plot line in a World War Z, the book,
Oh, okay.
about somebody who, I believe the term, hopefully I'm getting this right, they call themselves an otaku, which is like, I don't fully actually understand what that
well,
word
there's
means.
this website Kotaku. Is it
Right,
related
which
to
that's a
that?
play on the word otaku.
Oh,
Otaku.
okay.
And anyway, so he basically spends all day, they're like getting into like web forums and finding out information they're not supposed to, and they're like finding out about all this information about some sort of virus outbreak, and he thinks like
Oh,
they're
okay.
finding out something that no one else is, until one day his mom stops bringing in his noodles.
Oh,
And he
God.
goes outside, and the whole fucking zombie apocalypse happened, and he was just too sucked into the internet to
Oh.
realize what happened.
Wow, that's
And
really cool.
so
And
this,
terrible.
that's the setup right there.
Mom, where's the Cheetos at? And then he walks
Right.
outside. It's fucking World War Z.
It was actually really cool because he, I think his elevator's broken, so he has to like get down using balconies, like jumping from balcony
Oh
to
shit!
balcony.
How is he not like 500 pounds also sitting on this bed? Or I'm picturing the gamer bed, but how is he
Right.
like still able to live this life when he's sedentary? But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's pretty dope.
It was a cool plot line. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that whole book is just fantastic.
Is it a series
plots.
of books or it's one main?
It's
book?
one book with a whole bunch of different stories.
Gotcha.
But I would just recommend getting the audiobook.
Okay.
Because it's got really good voice actors, and Mark Hamill plays one of the coolest roles in it,
Joker.
and he just knocks it out the park.
Gotcha.
It's just like he plays this just pissed off soldier, and you can just feel the anger.
I've always heard the book's really good. I know there's like stitched together narratives like to make up the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I never watched the movie. It seemed kind of weird to me. But
So you're playing your Fortnites
so
and your
playing my
gamer
Fortnite.
beds.
I'm still addicted to Fortnite. They fucking nail it. They get me every time. It was funny. So I passed the controller over to Megan. Like I went to use the restroom or whatever, and then she died instantly. But she's like, "Hey, I'm watching the game play out," and the person that killed her was just awesome. Like it was a pro player. So we're watching this game, proceed, and they're just, of course, like it's down to 3 people. They're doing the towers where they're building it, running up, and it's just mind blowing. And we're both like on the edge of our seats, like, oh, this is fucking intense.
Right.
And as far as like, I never thought of actually watching legitimate game tournaments and that kind of thing. I know it's a huge industry, but for Fortnite, I could see myself. I understand what's going on, so I can tell how stressed like the player is. I am, but it just felt kind of funny to see that.
Have you not really watched much in the way of pro games?
Not really. I guess it has to be a game that I personally play or whatever. Which of course that's a standard, but like I don't know. I just haven't sought out, or even like the fighting tournament games. I just am not a big fight game player, so I just don't like. It doesn't call me, but.
Gave it a shot though with the fighting games.
I mean, I'll play them, but
watching them.
No, not really. Maybe some of the Evo stuff we've talked about, but that's about it.
You got to give it a shot.
I know.
You'll be surprised. You also got to watch a game where it's clear what's happening, because there are definitely games where you're just like, I don't know. This year with Marvel vs. Capcom, you just got to. It's just a screen exploding for 2 minutes until someone comes out the victor, and you're like, yeah.
Well, there was that moment we broke down that I had no idea, but it was like the anniversary of that moment.
Oh, moment 32.
Yeah, and I could already watch that and go, "Oh, this is fucking insane." So yeah, I mean, I'm down for that kind of thing. I just
the stuff like that is so much more potent when it has a full storyline before it. When you've watched the rise and fall and you've been with that person through those tough moments, and they get to that moment where they got to block just perfectly, and they break down in tears at the end. And you're like, oh,
yeah. No, I love that idea because I mean, it reminds me of like pro wrestling or something with just like the narratives involved with what's going on. But yeah,
very much. And I think I've told you, like, it has villains. There are people in this that are villains, so it's good. So you're playing the Fortnite.
Yep.
I played. What didn't I play? Is the bigger question.
Shit.
I played mostly during the week, but I played. For some reason, I just decided I was going to try out Team Fight Tactics.
Okay.
And the League of Legends auto chess. And
did you watch it or you played it?
I played it. I played 2 rounds of it, and it's kind of weird because like when I watch a stream of it, it feels like it's going by very fast. But when I was playing it, I'm like, is it fucking over? I played 2 games. I actually won the second one.
Do you understand how to play it?
Sort of.
Okay.
I've
never even like fucking seen footage of this movie.
I don't really know what the people do.
Yeah.
So like when I won, I'm like, was my team good? Was everyone bad? I was almost undefeated the entire time I played.
Auto chess or what's the proper term?
It's called Team. Well, it is an auto chess style game, but it's Team Fight Tactics. It's the League of Legends one. So I played that, and the reason I played that is I logged into League of Legends because I wanted to play their card game that's out, and you can just play it now.
Okay.
What's it called? Legends of something or other. And so I started going through all the tutorials, and it throws so many mechanics at you that I was just overwhelmed. I couldn't. So this is Dota. This is Dota's version.
Gotcha. Dang it.
Which is the original.
Is it sort of similar to what you?
It's exactly this.
Oh,
it's
okay,
just theirs is on a hex grid. This is on a chessboard style grid. Yeah, this is
I see.
And yeah, I don't know how I don't know if I won legit because of not skill, but like just happened to be playing well.
But is it normal chess rules? Is that what's going on?
No, not even close.
So where's the chess that term even come from?
It's on a chessboard.
Oh, gotcha. But otherwise it doesn't have to really be because it's not following that.
No, you don't. I mean, there's no need to call it auto chess. Yeah, it
Gotcha.
makes very little sense. But it was kind of neat. But yeah, that was
What gave you the urge to play it?
I never played it, and again, I opened up the launcher because I wanted to try the card game, but you actually need a separate launcher for the card game. So I was like, fuck it. It's right there. It's already loaded on my computer. Let's try it. And the rounds took like 45 minutes.
Jesus.
Which is, I don't have time for that. Even when you lose early on, it still takes like 20, 25 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So that's a lot of time to dedicate.
Is it just 2 people playing? Is that what's going on?
No, see all those people on the left?
Oh.
So you keep cycling through all these people. So you're
Gotcha.
fighting a lot of people at once. You have almost no, like all this stuff going on screen, you have no control. You kind of set up your people and then let them go at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very interesting. Definitely not for me, but I did finally give it a try. And then I played Legends of Runeterra, I think is what it's called, which is their card game. And because I've been watching streams of it, and I couldn't make heads or tails of what was happening on the stream. And Legends of Terraria.
Gotcha.
Oh, there it is.
Runeterra?
Maybe
or
it's
Terraria?
Runeterra. I don't know. Yeah,
blacked
Legends
out.
of Runeterra. Anyway, I couldn't make the heads or tails of what was going on when I watched a stream of it. And now that I played it, I know less. There's so much going on, so that's it. I didn't, at least when you watch what's it called? What's the
auto chess one we were just
No, what's Blizzard's card game?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I always keep forgetting. I think of Gwent, but it's not Gwent.
It's not Gwent.
Yeah.
But whatever their version
Dota?
is. No, that's their MOBA.
That's what my brain's like. I don't know what you want me to find.
Right.
All these nerdy terms, but
at least with their card game, like watching it, well, I have no urge to watch it, but when I do, even not knowing anything that's going on, I can still figure out what the fuck is going on. Tell me what's going on. You have what do those numbers mean? Do you know? You don't fucking know.
No.
I don't fucking know, and I've played it now.
See, it's mixing. I already have a hatred of math, and so it's merging this kind of concept with games that I don't like it. It's like they're trying to teach me how to do math, and I just have a natural like pull away from it kind of feeling. But.
Right, and I felt the urge to play it because we talked last time about Cloud9. He was working on his game. I looked up the game. It's called The Bazaar, which is so this is a CCG, which is a collectible card game. Same with whatever the fucking Blizzard game is again.
One, yeah.
It's right at the tip of my tongue. But so there's CCGs where you get these cards and you make them into decks and you take them into battle against somebody else. And Cloud9, the guy is working on a deck builder, which is different. It sounds the exact same, but what you're actually doing typically with a deck builder is you both start with the exact same hand, and there's a store. And throughout the game, you're buying stuff from the store and adding it to your hand.
I feel like that's similar to poker, is it not? Where you have your hand, but you also have the middle thing. I also don't know how poker works.
Apparently not, because that is so not.
It's more like chess.
You definitely don't each start with the same hand.
Damn it.
But yeah, so you're buying. So it's more fair, but you both start from nothing and then build to something very unique every time. No game of
the deck building?
Deck building is ever the same. And so I checked out his, and it's a different take. It's very different. And I worry that it's not going to work. But if it does work, he's done something really cool and something that can really only be done in the digital format with this classic style format. So it's interesting, but that made me want to try that.
Nice.
And I played something else that I've forgotten. Oh, I played a teeny bit of Transistor.
Oh, that's the yes. I know the sword.
Super giant, with the sword that can talk. I played a little bit. God, it's fucking gorgeous. Videos don't do it justice. It's really pretty.
It was like whatever year it came out, was it 2018 or 2017, something like that? It was like top of the Game of the Year award kind of stuff. It was in that conversation, so people really dug it.
Yeah, and it definitely surprises me how it really throws you right into the action. Like you're in the shit the second you start. It gives you 4 abilities almost right out the gate, and you're like, I'm not used to 1.
Yeah,
you've given me 4.
I highly respect that more and more playing games. So it's like, how do you handle the beginning of this experience? Are you keeping me engaged? And I'm such a dummy. I like just being able to play stuff. Or if it's a tutorial, like I want to learn as I'm playing it.
Right.
And so that already like lights up something in my brain where that sounds cool to me.
Yeah.
But nice.
And then of course, Bloodroot, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah. Do you want to say that for the end? Do you want to get into Bloodroot? What you're feeling about it? we can
We'd save it for a little bit anyway.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
that was a fun. So you played a bit of that then.
Yeah, I played maybe 4 hours.
Nice.
Bloodroots.
I think you're further than me.
I don't know, because I one of the levels was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I was like, I just get my fucking ass beat on these levels.
That was my mistake. I was also drinking while playing, and it's
Okay.
like, nope,
You need to
poor
win.
decision. Yeah, you need to be able to hit that frame perfect.
Were you playing on PC?
Yes.
I'm playing on Switch, and I feel like there's a little bit of lag or something going on where when I'm pressing stuff, it's not one for one or every time doing what I want it to do. But I've been reading online some of the reviews. No one's mentioned that, so it must just be me. I must just be an idiot.
It could be. Are you using a Pro controller at all?
I've tried my Pro. I've tried just the Joy-Cons. I have it docked or like handheld mode, and I still feel the same weirdness. So it might just be me. I need to adjust something. I don't know.
I know
talk
there
to
were
a
a couple of
doctor.
spots where like stuff was so precise that
Right.
like there were definitely times where I'm like, I feel like I'm hitting it, but I probably wasn't hitting it.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know.
I had the same.
It's
yeah,
hard
the
to
same
say.
feeling. Nice guy. Well, we'll talk about some news. This one was pretty cool.
I
So
actually
this is-
haven't watched this.
Yeah, so good. We'll check it out.
I was bugged though because like CBS and other like mainstream. Who's here?
Total Hack says you guys are in this video. I don't know if it's a
It's
weird.
a YouTube. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't click it. Is this
Like some-
Goatsy?
some
Are we in
blackmail
Goatsy?
shit.
I'm popping right out the
What's
out the
Goatsy?
starfish. Don't look it up.
God, it's like a Mr. Hand situation.
This is some
or-
old internet, but also welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, if you're a bot, I guess
That's
you're watching. That's cool.
Old internet butthole is what Goatsy is.
I see.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, but yeah, it
Let's check
bugged
it
me
out.
that a lot of mainstream media were comparing it to Overwatch. It's like this isn't fighting
There's
Overwatch.
aspects of it, but not really, right? 'Cause
No,
it's like
not
the-
really at all. It's fighting.
I'm not about.
No,
Well,
okay.
well, I appreciate it. I thought you were trying to sell me something. I will say anything in chat. Okay. Well,
Okay.
that's cool. Well, let's. We're talking about Riot releasing a 2-minute trailer for Valorant. So total hacks. Let's see if you're interested in this. It's the trailer for their game Valorant. It's coming
Right.
summer 2020. I was kind of surprised that they released this so soon because there was that little bit of that tiny bit of the trailer they showed originally when they talked about what they're working on.
Right.
And this is a good 2 minutes of combat and stuff. So let's actually check out. The original article is from IGN Nordic. They just break down the details, talking about how they're mixing that CS:GO
IGN
gameplay
has a
with
Nordic
Overwatch.
division?
They do, yeah. And when they did that, they didn't give me an actual author. So yeah. But let's check out what it looks like so far.
Yeah, it's not fighting Overwatch. It's competing against CS:GO. That's the. I know a lot of things they're reiterating on. Oh, that's a pretty interface.
Does it seem like a lot going on? I know you can. Yeah, you
No,
can buy
not
you
for
can buy guns
Counter-Strike.
in game.
Right, which is how it works in Counter-Strike.
Gotcha.
So you play over a series of rounds, and depending on how you do, you can use that money that you earn to buy more weapons.
The art style is almost more Team Fortress than anything.
That's like exactly Team Fortress, which is fine.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I mean, this stuff ages well when it's that cell shaded kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, and there's this
Ooh.
power thing going on with the abilities, right? So this is stuck to
Right.
whatever character you decide to play as.
Right, and you have to buy those abilities though.
Gotcha. So far, the gunplay looks, standard. I mean, it looks like it's pretty tight, like it feels good.
But it's that Counter-Strike gunplay that most games don't do.
Mm.
And that's the exciting thing for me. Nobody does it quite like this. Like the closest you really get is Rainbow Six Siege, and that's still not quite
Sure.
this.
I'm digging. Can you throw all those knives at once? Because that's pretty fucking awesome.
I thought I saw a clip of someone do it at some point. I don't know about that.
And this is like a poison thing or something going on. Like
Yeah.
I see like decay happening.
I tell you what, this is some actually non-scripted gameplay because these people are annoying as fuck.
It's always weird when they have those scripted just we're meeting up in lobby and just like these
Right.
generic fucking people.
I can't. All right, it's a bit. I can't keep up with what. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot more clear when you're actually playing it, but
Yeah.
the vision, there's a lot.
And this might be a specific game mode. I'm not sure what they're gonna start releasing. Oh yeah, there's some kind of
You can do
deactivating a
it.
bomb.
You can do it. Oh.
Yeah, so that's some Valorant gameplay. Now there was the plan was to, I guess, show this off to the public and let them actually play it. Well, not the public, but like streamers, that kind of thing, influencers. They apparently dropped those plans. So they tweeted today that they're going to have a plan in March to actually show off and let people play it. But they, with the coronavirus stuff, which is already affecting everyone, they decided to pull out. So it makes sense.
Well, if it achieves those really competitive goals that they say with the tick rate and the lag reduction.
Right, because that was one of the things, or like the cheating aspect, like they're really trying to stay on top of that.
I think this has an amazing chance to actually be a competitive game, which is cool because it's so different than League of Legends in every way, shape, and form. Like, that's really neat.
Or Overwatch, you're talking about? Or is that still a comparison to the League of Legends thing?
Well, just from, it's the same developer. So, like, the fact that,
I see what you mean.
So, yeah, it'd be really cool to see them take on and have another successful esports potentially. Yeah, it's
I feel like that community will eat this shit up for sure.
So how far did you get into this Boulders Gate video?
I was kind of skimming through it, and we can kind of just get your
dense. That was
there was
for fans of this series. Go watch that video.
Gotcha. We can scrub through. There was just a lot of like stuff that didn't make sense to me. And this is actually what I have pulled up is from IGN. Casey DeFreitas has the breakdown, and it's more of just like actual gameplay.
There's a lot of gameplay.
It's a lot of gameplay. I wanted to see just like, and if we can scrub through it, like what you feel when you watch it, you know, because it seems like this is a game that's more up your alley, and I want to feel or see how you. Well, that's everyone's ears are blown out. Okay.
Right.
Usually I can catch that. But so there's gameplay of it. I mean, I'm not familiar with the Baulders Gate franchise, but apparently it's like it's based on Dungeons and Dragons. Is that correct?
Can we talk about these environments, by the way? Because these are just drop dead gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
I'm not seeing nuts. Like there you're seeing some repeated textures, but for the most part you're not seeing repeated textures.
Like this stuff, the foliage. I mean,
foliage?
Is that a right?
Foliage.
Foliage. Hey,
I'm
working with what I
got. Like it's just incredible how it doesn't look repeated. It looks very natural. It looks like if you threw me into first-person view, that this would be, I don't know, better looking than Skyrim. I don't.
So I'm wondering the gameplay, is it still turn-based or some kind of aspect like that?
Yeah, turn-based.
That's what I just never was a fan of that gameplay, but otherwise everything else looks pretty dope. It looks like it's just a Skyrim kind of adventure. I just don't like that gameplay style.
It definitely does surprise me still though that this is locked to next gen and high end PC. Like it doesn't, to me, it doesn't really feel like that's necessary. But I don't know. But yeah, I like the movement is very free. I think that's cool. It's not locked down to a grid, so they can make the levels a lot more.
It's more freedom to move around.
More realistic, not video gamey feeling.
Yeah.
You get a ton of abilities per character. Like you can see that skill bar on the bottom. It's fucking bananas.
Oh yeah, God.
That AI by the ladder I watched, he broke during the demo, and that was pretty fun. They thought they were gonna have to like cheat to fix him, and he fixed himself at the very last second, which was neat.
Gotcha. Nice. I mean, it looks, for the fans of this, I imagine this is right up their alley. Right. Already beautifully, like it just takes my eye. I can already tell it's going to be fucking bonkers, and good luck getting this to run. Or you mentioned it's only next gen, so
right.
I guess visually it makes sense, but you think you'd want to still release on something where there's just way more people playing on console or PC.
Right.
But, yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. But I mean, I'm stoked to see what people think about it.
It's pretty, and that trailer is just so
the trailer didn't make any sense
dope.
to me, but it was dope. There's like this Cthulhu thing flying through the sky, and just wrecking shit.
Mind flares. They're mind flares, apparently.
Oh, okay. I just know from
Stranger Things.
I was gonna say Arrested Development from Stranger Things, not at all the same shows. I was thinking, they mentioned that, but that's cool.
So I guess they're abducting them, putting a thing in their head that will turn them into a mind flare. So they're trying to get it out of their head, is sort of the plot of this so far.
Gotcha.
So they're trying to get it out, but I think it gives them slight powers. I don't really know. I don't know jack diddly about D&D.
Sign me up, because it sounds dope.
This is a great photo.
Kevin, our next story is the Death Stranding PC version gets head crabs and an official release date.
And a photo mode.
In a photo mode. Yeah, let's watch this little trailer. They kind of break it down. Connor Sheridan from Games Radar has the details. Go ahead and give him a click. Give him the details there. You say, nice guy. Hey, guys, nice haircut, Fonzie. Well, you know what? I try. I put a bowl on my head and just let it rip. But let's check out this Death Stranding PC trailer. I know they announced that it was coming, but I think they gave it an actual date, I want to say.
I'm surprised this is getting downloadable content at all besides fixes, to be honest.
Sure, yeah. No, it's weird that they're pairing with Valve to out of all companies to have that crossover content. I mean, it's dope. No one's going to be mad at it at all.
Sure. I imagine like with Half Life Alyx coming up so soon, we're going to see.
And it's a 60 frame per second mode, so it looks just fucking crisp.
He's got the valve in the back of his head.
Nice. Yeah, that photo mode. I'm hoping that carries over to the console. Widescreen support.
You get a gravity gun to hold all the packages. That'd be
just droop. That wouldn't be a bad idea. That's pretty fucking awesome. And the headcraft thing. No, I love that. That's awesome. Wow.
Oh my god.
But yeah, we're getting that soon. I know we have the details on the actual date as I scrub over to that. June 2nd is when it's coming to Steam and the Epic Games Store on June 2nd. Being the
505 Games, aren't those the people that make the Halo games?
Well, I think they port or they handle publishing. They did console or they did Control, either the console or the PC release of Control. But I think they either develop or they just do publishing stuff.
Oh, maybe.
But no, they get a lot of big properties. But they're a publisher, Italian game publisher. So let me see, like recently, what they've done. Oh, it's not going to show it.
Abzu.
So yeah, I was just scrubbing through with what 505 games we were talking about. Yeah, so there's
apparently
bunch.
Everything
Alphabetical
Zumba
order.
Fitness, yeah. Who does
they do
alphabetical order?
So yeah, like Control, the PC rather release of Death Stranding. Yeah. So a lot of
the Two Sons.
Sniper Elite.
But Sniper Elite though. Terraria. That's a big get.
Yeah.
This is Brandon.
Oh, hey Brandon. Yeah, that's my my partner in life, Brandon. No, it's my
I thought I was your
partner
partner in life.
Yeah, you are. I got a lot of irons in the fire here, Gavin. So I'm trying to.
Me and Brandon about to throw hands. I don't.
You've met him actually. You've met him. Yeah. But yeah, Gavin, let's see our next news story here. I thought you might dig this. Samurai Jack, a video game was announced last week on PC, PS4, Xbox, and Switch. Ooh. Have you seen the trailer for this?
I have not. I actually didn't really watch Samurai Jack back in the day.
I didn't either. I know people really love it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be legit good. Mm-hmm. Like, it's kind of adult. Like, even though it was a kid show, which I always, as a kid, when you got those opportunities, they were really cool. I know the voice actor for Samurai Jack is just phenomenal.
Gotcha.
I forget.
Yeah, all those voice actors end up doing a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's kind of surprising to not have something from Samurai Jack and then to have this for so long. Well, they did a TV show reboot of the cartoon show. I remember that.
Right, yeah. Huh. It's an interesting style.
Yeah. It's more, I guess, 3D looking as far as the graphics, but it still fits that cartoon style. It's almost like Dreams-esque going on, right?
Yeah, it is a little bit. It looks cool.
Yeah. I guess it, still exists in the story.
It is interesting, like, this style would be hard to kind of do in 3D. That being said, Bloodroot like totally does it.
Right.
Yeah, which, to be fair, was exactly inspired by this show.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
They said that's what inspired the art style, which totally bleeds across. It looks fantastic.
So it's coming this summer to all the consoles, the toasters, everything.
All the toasters.
All the toasters. If you have a toaster, you can run this game.
Oh man, will it run on my Darth Vader toaster? I don't know if I still have that. I hope.
Did you actually have one of those?
Yeah, it would burn Darth Vader into your toast.
Nice.
Which was great for the longest time because I forgot that it could do that. So like it was a nice little surprise every morning.
Every time you're like, oh, it wasn't shaped like anything, so it or just looked like a toaster, but also did the thing with the.
It was Darth Vader helmet shaped, but gotcha. Darth Vader's helmet looks like a toaster, so it's easy to forget about.
Yeah. I see. Gavin, I don't know how interested you are in this next one, but I wanted to get your take on the trailer. It just seems kind of out there, but I guess not. But Marvel's next mobile game is an all-star open-world RPG. This is Mike Fahey of Kotaku. So revealed during the Marvel Mystery Panel at PAX East Sunday afternoon, Marvel Future Revolution is an open-world role-playing game featuring iconic characters and all sorts of funky outfits. So this is a reiteration or sequel to another mobile game that was actually really not profitable, I'm sure it was, but really critically acclaimed. So Netmarble is the dev, and they do mobile stuff. but we're gonna check out the actual trailer here of the game itself. Story-wise, I have no idea what's going on. There's a lot of
Created from in-game footage.
which is pretty dope because this is a mobile game.
That's
so
not.
and I don't know if
Not
this is
even close.
Well, could this be a cutscene in the in-game footage? I don't know exactly what we're seeing as far as like when this happens in the game, but
if it looked like this on your mobile phone, then your battery is already dead.
just overheating instantly.
Right.
You got some like Doctor Strange stuff with New York happening. Yeah, I'm not sure even the gameplay because this is I'm not sure what the last mobile game they did.
Right.
Part of that does look a little bit gameplay or like live action in the game, but
I think
there's
it's
like cutscene
believable
stuff.
for like an Xbox.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say this is believable necessarily for a Switch. So when you're saying this is on a phone,
Apparently.
yeah. I know like the iPhone 11 is more powerful than the Switch, so like
Oh Jesus.
yeah, it's within the realm, but yeah, none of this is in game.
You have little faith, Gavin. What if they worked on some crazy
I'm
engine that
historically a little
Yeah.
faith.
You're drinking that haterade.
I think it's nice though because I get a little surprised. Like Bloodroot,
Sure.
I was expecting to be not good.
You got Spider-Punk, that's
Yeah,
my
it's
fucking
Spider-Punk.
favorite version of Spider-Man. And I didn't know there was an alternate version of not Captain Planet, Captain Marvel.
I feel like there's like an alternate version of all.
He's straight up a magician, that version of Doctor Strange.
as opposed to.
He's a little classier in his normal outfit.
All right.
So I think it's like different dimension stuff happening. Is that what's going on, or just different outfits? Because there's like this Spidey.
I assume it's alternate dimensions. I do feel like I've seen enough though. Like I don't.
Yeah, especially
This is-
how's it gonna translate to mobile? I'm sure it's gonna be gameplay that I don't really want to play, and I don't
Right.
really care about mobile games like traditionally, but it's interesting.
I did say though that like a part of your dream though there is now a mobile game. You have to pay $6 to buy it, but it's a lawn mowing simulator.
Oh god.
And there's no goal. There's no like you can just like there's no
Just mow.
lawn. Yeah, you can just mow.
You know what?
Occasionally
That's
the lawn will regrow and you mow it.
That's not bad. Could you upgrade? Like you have your basically like you push version, and then like you can upgrade to the ride-on mower. Are they that?
To my
advanced, or-
understanding, there are upgrades.
Gotcha.
And I think they cost monies.
Oh really? And you have to pay $60.
And the app is already $6.
What? Oh, okay. $6.
So it is a bit of an ask, but
Where do I find this? I might be into that. I'm going full blown dad mode. Speaking about other trailers that are blowing people away, Gavin, we just talked about that Marvel game.
Yes.
Half Life Alyx. So we got 9 minutes of gameplay. I thought this was exclusive at first to GameSpot, but all the different big outlets have had their own time playing Half Life Alyx. They got to record their own footage.
Destructoid showed like 3 different clips.
Yeah, there's like a
from
trailer,
this.
gameplay, or like different levels is what the was.
Yeah, I saw different levels. I think it's definitely going to be weird with this because it seems to mix the ability to walk in a VR game with the ability to teleport in a VR game.
Yeah, you can choose.
And I don't know. It seems like you can do both. And I don't know how that's going to affect a shooter gameplay because like taking cover is way different when you can teleport to the next cover.
I agree. But that's been the biggest hurdle. One of the big hurdles with first-person shooters is the movement, and I like that they're at least giving you the option. And it seems like,
but at this point, like if you put it in there and you can do both, it's no longer an option. That's how you play, and that's what somebody does in one of the clips when they're fighting the people. Is they're using a mix of the two, definitely using teleportation when it's
right. Like initially, we're seeing this is IGN's video here. IGN first.
It is definitely interesting how there's so much stuff being just scattered everywhere. They can pick it up. I think that feels very cool and tactile. It is a bit weird that there's just shit scattered everywhere.
Right.
But
even stuff like I didn't even think about it. And this is a whole like I really am now in full support of what they're doing with. There's bowls, there's garbage cans. Like you flip it over and there's stuff down there. Like I would never think to actually start to manipulate the environment. So they're really going full force with this.
Wow. It's interesting that the zombies are a bit thick this time around. I feel like I don't know if it's the suit they're wearing or
Interesting. Well, this takes place between the Half-Life games, so I don't know what that means for how they look, and that's of its story base with how they're different looking. Those gross things there.
Eat them. Do it. Nice. Nice.
Oh Jesus! Whoa! I have not seen this part.
I didn't either.
And so yeah, there's a teleportation thing. I know at one point they switch and you can just move around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they have to have that option because it makes people sick notoriously. I've never
Right.
actually played a legitimate like.
Some games
Game
have
like
solved
this.
it. I heard what's that game from Corridor Digital?
I'm not familiar.
It's
But it's a first-person shooter or first person.
yeah, it was a first-person shooter game that really kind of nailed the gun handling. Gosh, what's it called?
Then Google it.
Yeah, it's by Stress Level Zero, I think is what their dev name is, and yeah, they made something, and it doesn't have the teleportation. People say it's. There have been a few games that don't have teleportation. People really like that. The Walking Dead game.
Do you have to just limit the speed in which you move it? Is that kind of how you balance that
I
out?
don't. It's a tricky one. Like I don't know. That the people that have cracked it are saying how they've cracked it, which is a bit unlike the video game industry. Typically, if somebody cracks anything, then they tell everyone because it's a very sharing industry.
Gotcha. Does Boneworks?
Hello, the Kid Flowers. How are you doing?
What up?
Yeah, Boneworks. That's the
Gotcha.
one. And they had freeform movement. Same with the Walking Dead game.
Yeah.
And so it's.
Did they worked on this? Because Corridor Digital does the movie stuff. That's dope.
Yeah, I think they hired up some. I think they hired up some devs to work on it, and they took a lot of their input. But yeah, no, it's their dev. I mean, they're paying for it for sure.
Wow.
So
And
they're doing a lot of the promos.
Of course,
yeah.
though, this is them, in one place. But you're saying they nailed the movement aspect of it as well, or they're really like pushing. forward.
Yeah, they had the movement of that. Yeah, so people can do it. One theory I heard on VR is, and I've probably told you this before, but one theory on the getting rid of the nausea thing was putting in a digital nose, because we use our nose as like this stationary point. So putting that in there,
Interesting.
theoretically. But I feel like you need some sort of slider because I got a big schnoz, so I'm used to seeing
Right.
like, God, it takes up so much room if I close one eye and can see it. Whereas you're gonna have a normal size schnoz, so it's like, how do you adjust? Is it gonna feel weird? Like
With the power of the Xbox
you could have my
One
nose
X.
settings and being like, how do you see?
All I see is nose. Like,
Oh my God.
But
Yeah.
otherwise, I mean, I'm super stoked. I can't fucking wait for this game to come out. Of
Right.
course, I have nothing to play this game on, but
Right.
I still like.
And that's only, they say they're gonna have a restock, but it's like with the coronavirus slowing down production of literally everything.
Oh, sure, you're talking about the
any-
Index with Valve's thing.
With the Index, well, it's slowing down the production of, again, literally everything.
Right.
And then B, like stuff that's made in China, which I believe this is, like it's having such a hard time getting out of China.
Yeah.
It's a rough.
So some of the gameplay, and they don't have it here, but I've noticed them using Alex's character. You can use the gun to like nudge stuff. So every time there's like a head crab that's just motionless, the player will like move him with the gun just to
Right.
see if it's alive. And, like, that's such a brilliant fucking idea. But it's
Well, I think part of it is to like not just unequipping. And good to have you here, Flowers. Yeah, glad you counted us live. This is, I think, our first time having people pop in
Yeah,
while
wow.
we're live. So
Wow.
don't
So,
know.
but I mean, overall, I'm fucking
I do like the
stoked.
storage in the. It's almost weird. It's almost like you're shoving it into your disembodied hand.
Right, because you can just drop items in there, right? But it makes
Right.
sense for like just dealing with, because you could put stuff over your shoulder, but like that whole idea is just, and other games do that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty stoked. There was one cool scene I wanted to show you, just with how they're nailing VR and like immersion. But it's an actual tweet. I'm going to show you. They kind of bring this down here.
Okay.
It's just a scene from a bunch of. There's tons of footage out there already of this game, but like this is one key moment, and it also reminds me of a game that tried to do this, and they claimed they could do it, but it didn't really happen that way. But this is footage, and so at one point in the Half Life Alyx, you can use the door as cover,
Right.
and just actually like pull it out.
Right.
And it just reminded me of, was it not Watch Dogs?
Division.
Where
I
they have
thought
that
you
ability to,
could
like,
do
squish
that
it.
in Division.
I mean, maybe you can, but I know in that trailer, you walk by and you press it. But this is like saying, no, you can actually like pull this door
pull
open.
it open. Yeah. I like
Look at the
that.
garbage
Why is
can.
that down there? But I mean, I don't know. It reminds me of like, yeah. So this is definitely a part where you're being held down and you're like, fuck you. I'm just going to teleport to where you can't shoot me.
Yeah, it's true. And does it
It's,
make it a bit easier? I'm not sure,
yeah.
but yeah.
Much appreciated, Flowers. Really.
Yeah, appreciate that. I appreciate you checking out the stream, and so I won't take my pants off like I usually do because now people actually watch.
I
the
will
show.
still. I know that's what everyone comes here is for my pants off. I will. They're just straight off fans only.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the,
true. You know, we're talking about that.
Or only fans. I can't
start
figure out
that.
what it's called.
It's fans only. We start that fans only game. Can you stream? That's the next level. If you can stream on fans only, like if you can start just live stream.
Isn't that what some of the other platforms
I thought
are,
it was
like
just
Instagram or?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do my research tonight and I'll figure out what's going on there.
I don't.
Which platform we should be on there.
Oh my god, it's too. I can't keep up with all these platforms.
It's too many.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Remake is out for the place. I've been watching a lot of streams of people playing it, and it's really interesting to see. So I didn't grow up with this, but the people who did grow up with this, they've kind of just taken the existing script and added a little bit to it, and people are just they grew up with it are just absolutely adoring it, loving it. It's definitely interesting to see Barrett, who sort of originally was just ripping off Mr. T.
Yeah.
And they're not hiding that fact. Definitely not. So yeah, it's cool. It's definitely nice having. I wasn't a huge fan of the turn-based combat in the first one.
Yeah.
It was kind of getting in the way of the awesome movie I was watching, which was Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, oh, you get to have these fun combat bits between.
See, that's what brings me to this because I don't like that style of gameplay, but the fact that it's a bit more actiony.
Yeah.
I know that the newer Final Fantasies did this as well, but yeah, so that actually piques my interest.
Right.
But it looks beautiful, looks dope. I like that they just dropped this trailer. Like apparently it was at PAX East, you could play it, and so they just dropped this trailer over the weekend, Monday morning. But
yeah. It's definitely crazy. I think it'll be interesting to kind of compare it to like Kingdom Hearts because visually they look similar with the battle systems, albeit you're not like flying nonstop. But so it's got that, and from what I was seeing, you're having to do a lot of healing in this, so it seems like it's going to make the fight a bit more of a brawl.
Gotcha. That Kid Flowers is asking about her pants off. He missed those episodes. Yeah, those are, like we said, go to our fans only page and you can see the goods.
It's do we call them the goods? They're the discount goods.
Yeah, they're rolled under the table and they have fuzz on them, but they still count as the goods.
They're the all rights.
The standards, the bare minimum.
The FDA has not shut them down yet.
Do you have any interest in, because this is on PlayStation, this is exclusive for the time being. I imagine maybe a PC version in the future. Does this tickle your fancy enough to get a PlayStation console to play this one? There's already stacking exclusives, but what does this do for you?
I mean it doesn't more than anything else. Like I still want to play God of War. I still want to play all these exclusives. So I mean it's almost nice to me from the perspective of, can I just maybe now I can finish it on Switch before it becomes available to me? Like you'll get your PS5 and your Xbox 78, and then I'll just borrow the PlayStation.
Hey, you can actually borrow whenever you want. I thought about letting you borrow my PS4 so you could play this demo.
Yeah,
and you still need to play The Last of Us too. So.
Right. I was definitely surprised by the length of the demo. Like this is a solid chunk of the intro to Final Fantasy VII. And it was a fun bit of that, and so it looks fun. I'm surprised by how much they make you kind of fight by yourself. I guess that was how it was in the game. I can't remember, which is crazy because I didn't get that much further past this.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you're playing the remake, or not the remake. You're playing the original version on Switch a while ago, right?
Right. Yeah. So original-ish.
Oh, sure. It's like the PC one back then.
Right, yeah, that's what it is, and still has all the same issues as the PC one.
Gotcha,
which is great.
And the original video was from Final Fantasy. The original video of the FF7 remake was from IGN. Just want to give them their credit where it's due.
Right.
So Gavin, that came out over the week, but also came out with some more bad news.
GDC,
yeah.
It was a matter of time. It really was.
Right. Because the writing was on the wall with. So the original article is from Destructoid. Brett Macedonsky just writes the details. GDC 2020 has been postponed until later this summer. But yeah, so the writing was on the wall. We had issues with PAX East, with PlayStation pulling out, with Kojima, all these other developers pulling out, and so I mean, it makes sense to postpone this next thing, which is right around the corner. What does this do for? Because then the next rumor mill is like, okay, what about E3? Do you think this stuff kind of boils over by
thought
then.
I heard E3's already taken a hit or two. I think it's
PlayStation
definitely.
not
I
been
think
there.
it's going to have a similar issue. But this is. I mean, this is so soon, to my understanding. That just makes sense.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine having to reschedule something of this size because
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, the second they finish with one, they're starting on the next one. So. How do you just push something out a few months?
Or even a lot of the games journalists, they're tweeting left and right, like big ones, like, I have to cancel all these hotel bookings or
Right.
like plane trips that are non-refundable in most cases. So it's like, it's hard for them to just switch gears already.
Yeah.
And then you think of the magnitude of actually hosting the event, that kind of shit. So
Yeah.
it's got to suck. So yeah, I wonder with E3, is this also telling that maybe they'll go, all streaming? Like, how will they do but they traditionally have this big conference.
Right. I mean, GDC is one of those things where you really need to be out there rubbing elbows with people, just like bumping into people by chance
Yep.
and having a good time and networking. So, yeah, you can't really do an online streaming networking thing. It doesn't quite work like that.
That's true.
But yeah, I think it's going to affect E3. I think coronavirus, it's going to take a while for this to run its cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to bet over a year for it to run its cycle. So I think
fair.
it's gonna kind of affect everything.
Yeah, we're in kind of a weird area because we're also switching into next gen, so it's like
Right.
these events, the whole manufacturing side of it, it's all going to be weird because we're on the heels of this
Right.
of Coachella. I was gonna call it Coachella.
Coachella.
COVID.
That is whew,
Yeah. Well,
quite the difference. Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Gavin, I was also going to mention in other big news, today's the 3-year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
I was going to clank.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 3 years. And there's a lot of now just more conversations about Breath of the Wild because it's also 3 years since Breath of the Wild.
Still that game. I wish I could just get momentary amnesia and
Yeah. I just checked and y'all talking about Corona.
I mean,
Queen Bundy,
I'm
right?
certainly drinking it, but well, yeah, with the GDC.
Yeah, because
Welcome
it's
on.
everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
But
No, it's,
yeah, with 3 years out from Nintendo Switch launching, what do you think? Just off the top of your head, what is your most favorite or best experience with the Switch? Like, what do you think could be game of the Switch so far?
I mean, for me personally, it's Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. That, and we talked about it before. For me, Mario Odyssey is like neck and neck with like the feelings I got with playing it, the nostalgia, them dipping into the history, but also with Zelda just turning everything on its head.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get over that hump and actually experience how awesome it was. But once I did, it was fucking it's game of the year for sure.
It's
Game of
also
the-
got like it was the first like console where I've ever got my names in the credits of something. So
and, you were.
that's got an extra special like place in my
Yep.
heart. Like that was a life. Even though my stuff was barely in the game, like it's still like that's a bit of a life goal achieved
You're
right
in it,
there.
man. You're in
and
It's
yeah.
Just Shapes and Beats, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's our anniversary. How dare you? That's
Yeah.
Did you even get me anything? Is it my size or is it that hussy you've been hanging out with on the side? I don't.
Gavin, you gotta take
I
what you
see
can.
how it is. I'm just let me. No. I'm kidding.
Hold me back. Gavin, I was going to show you there's an update on the play date. Do you remember the play date?
I couldn't. I don't.
So this is
the play date.
Yeah, the play date is that weird little
Right.
yellow
It's
tinkering thing.
The Game Boy with a fishing rod.
Yes. So they put out there's actual physical versions of this now, and so at least in the
It's so small that can't be comfortable in your hand. Oh,
so let's check out if y'all
no.
remember the play date. They tweeted this out today. So this is what it looks like. It's very tiny, but
That's a very nice.
you got the
black and white
crank on the side there because that was the big deal that you can crank. That's another button that they're adding.
screen. Crank that soldier boy.
Yeah, and then you got the A B, you got the cross there. So that was also part of the whole thing is that the screen is like this. What's a proper term for it? It's like a calculator kind of screen where it's like
It's
that.
proper black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And so they've also gone into detail on each kit is its own dev kit, so you can develop for this thing once you have it.
That looks like it's running at like a very high frame rate.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I wonder how battery life is on this thing. I mean, it's a very specific device, so maybe they can. You're not watching video on it, like that kind of thing. So, or as far as like color video, so maybe you
Right.
can extend the battery life on this. It's a nifty little thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're actually seeing this out and about now.
I would be very curious to know how powerful that is when you're actually messing with it. That would be pretty neat.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, we forgot about it, but it's still alive, still kicking, still kicking there, Gavin.
Oh my goodness.
And Gavin, what about Tamagotchi?
I think it's how they
So
write
it's
the word. It's
Tamagotchi is what.
Tamagotchi.
Yes.
I love the concept. I think it's. Do you just do it during gameplay? Like you get a good kill streak going, you're like, all right, feed him, exercise.
I'm not sure how they actually
poopy.
use it, but
you gotta pay like $10 to get it though, don't you?
I don't know. I just know that they tweeted this out. I was gonna pull up the actual little tweet.
Yeah,
here.
I think it's like a $10 DLC, which is at least it's creative. Like this is fun. It's not hurting anyone. I'd probably buy it.
Yeah.
I
was gonna play a little trailer for you, Gavin.
There we go.
So Tamagotchi is the Call of Duty Modern Warfare add-on that is basically Tamagotchi.
It is weird that like the Tamagotchi was probably less expensive than this thing is.
I remember this being the hot shit, dude, when I was like in elementary school. Oh yeah.
I think the thing that bugged me was I got a Digimon.
Yeah.
And you were supposed to be able to fight the Digimon, and nobody fucking bought Digimon.
Oh, because they're like proprietary, where it's like, oh, they only communicate with like the branded one, so you can just like
right. So
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, that was too bad. So I had the thing to fight, and I couldn't fight with anyone. And I kept growing poop every time it would evolve into the giant poop monster.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want the poop monster. This is not helpful.
Well, now you can relive this, Gavin. I'm not seeing how you actually play this in game. If you have to bring up another set of menus, then you can mess with it. But yeah.
I assume it's just something you can.
Right, but like, what does it look like when you bring that up? And because there's already watches and stuff in the game.
I know it's powered by like achievements you do, like kill streaks or getting like dailies or whatever they are.
The challenges.
Yeah, so there are challenges and stuff that feed them, and different. I think different monsters go with that. So it's a neat concept. I think the thing somebody pointed out is like, if you play this game regularly anyway, this is just a side fun distraction within a game that you're having a ton of fun with anyway. So it's, I don't know, it's cool. I think it's neat cool. And something that I'd totally be all about if I played it.
Right. I dabble every once in a while. I go back in and out to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So
you're gonna put in the $10 for this?
Yep. Yes. Well, that's the thing. If it came with like the battle pass, which I have yet to buy, then it'd be a no-brainer. But it's like, or if I can unlock it. But I mean, Fortnite does this kind of stuff all the time, with like just making you buy stuff and
gotta inject those V-Bucks right into the veins.
Gavin, that's all I have for you this week.
Let's see what I think I only had a couple of things. Mm-hmm. We do need to talk about Bloodroot. Absolutely.
Yeah, Bloodroot.
Because that was fun.
How you feeling about it?
It's good. So Annapurna is a really cool publisher. They make a lot of really good games.
They seem to be fucking like nailing every release that comes out.
They just announced this game called Marquette.
Okay.
And it's very pretty from what we've seen. It's a neat little. I'm
gonna pull up footage or images of that. Marquette.
Annapurna. There you go. I think. Nope.
I'm gonna start with them first, and then.
Wait, there it is.
Oh, okay. Shit. Going back.
There you go. Report by Gamasutra down there.
Oh, gotcha.
I think.
Annapurna Interactive Parent Company.
Nope. Maybe not. Anyway, we have Annapurna now. We have that spelling, so you can copy that.
Yes.
Marquette, and I have how you spell Marquette right there.
Cool. Gotcha.
But yeah, they announced a new game. It sounds unsearchable.
Interesting.
On
reveal trailer.
Yeah, there you go. Whew.
It took two of us. We got it.
That was a rough one, Daddy. I don't.
So this is Marquette, which is from Annapurna. Is that the publisher?
That's the publisher.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Graceful Decay is the dev.
I don't know.
It seems like they really take a chance on these indie like out there titles.
Yeah.
Like Donut County, they should pull that up. That's one of their
County.
games.
Apparently, they were the ones that did Outer Wilds.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
This looks fucking awesome. It reminds me of The Witness.
Right.
Just visually.
People were comparing it to this other game where you can kind of change the scale of stuff, and I don't know that that's the. Oh, did she just walk into the. Oh, she can see it in there. It's a little box in there.
Oh wait, what?
Oh,
wow, man!
Oh, that's
it's like
cool.
Inception. This is tripping me out. So
Wow.
you're outside the world, but inside the world.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. The perspective is crazy. So yeah, but you can see the manipulation outside.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
What
crazy.
a cool idea for a puzzle game.
Yep.
Oh
god. Yeah, you just keep pulling out.
Whoa. All right, I think when I first watched the trailer for it, I didn't notice any of that stuff. I think I looked away or something. So that's wow.
It's insane.
What a neat idea.
I need that now though.
Right. I want to play that now. So yeah, that was a cool announcement. I feel
that's fucking dope.
They finally showed some gameplay for Alien Hominid Invasion, and it honestly, from what they kind of released, it sounds a bit like almost like a looter shooter. The gameplay looks very different. There's some randomization to sort of the story you're going through. It sounds like there's this map that's randomly generated, and you have these levels. Like it looks a bit less planned, which concerns me to an extent because Alien Hominid was extremely well planned levels, very tight. This has like all sorts of random guns or different guns that you can get, and you can. I don't know if you can upgrade them, but you can different rarities or whatever. You can play with. Friends locally, or it's up to 4 players locally or online, which is cool. It's got that classic kind of style, although the alien looks a little bit different, which is fine. But yeah, it's definitely.
I love the style. Like it's fucking. It's really cool.
It just weirds me out that it doesn't look like as much of a platformer. Like it.
Oh, interesting.
It doesn't have those tight levels, and those were definitely the big memorable parts of the first one when you're hopping from car to car, those nuts boss battles.
Yeah.
I'm
not so familiar with it. I know it's. I've heard of that name before, but never actually like sat down and played this.
It was kind of like. Did you ever play a Metal Slug?
I know of it, but I never played it as well. But I remember seeing like the arcade version of that.
Yeah, it was kind of just like someone took Metal Slug and made it a different kind of bonkers. But yeah, you have all this customization. I think you can even turn into like more powerful aliens temporarily. Well, I guess this is a moving train, so maybe that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I hope it's good. Behemoth is amazing. It sounds like they're taking some lessons that they learned from the other games, like whatever Box something or other, and the games with the knights. Oh man, somebody out there.
Knights and Bikes or
not Knights and Bikes.
Oh, okay.
It was like that Xbox Live Arcade game. This is gonna.
Oh. But is the Behemoth? Is that the dev? Is that the name?
Yeah, that's the dev. Gotcha. So they made truly phenomenal games.
Gotcha.
And you probably could have hit videos and it probably would have showed you the BattleBlock Theater and I almost got the last one. BattleBlock Theater, Castle Crashers. There we go. Okay, I didn't have Knights. Yeah, so it sounds like they're definitely taking some Castle Crashers into there. It's gonna be cool. Gotcha. It's gonna be. I think it'll be a blast.
Actually, looks really dope.
Yeah.
Gavin Bloodroots.
Also Halo. We're skipping over. Yeah, Halo Combat Evolved.
Coming to PC. It's coming to PC.
I think it's out now.
Well, it's out today. I want to say the Master Chief Collection, anyways.
Yeah.
It seems like with the Master Chief Collection, they're slowly rolling out. Maybe that's how they should have done the console version because they had all those issues. But they're slowly rolling out the games once they work out all the bugs, apparently. But and it's also a brilliant way to do it because it brings
343. What was the other one I confused it with earlier? 202.
Oh, 505.
Oh, games. 505. Yeah.
But I like the idea of them, like, of course they have to bring it out incrementally because they're working on the bugs, but it also just brings up the advertisement for it again because when you are able to release another iteration on this. So, you talked about, in honor of this, doing some kind of like LAN party.
And I'm sure you can't LAN these. Like, they need to be connected to the internet. But,
maybe you could if you had, if you had your PCs in one room or your Xbox Ones in one room. But we have one or either. Like, we don't have the same kind of thing. But, but that'd be dope to actually get to some old school Halo action.
Just such fond memories. Like this and Gears. Like, all of us just piled into my mom's house.
Yep.
1,000 Xboxes. Somebody's Switch, like, transferring everything. It was...
No, you can't beat those moments when you can play, like, together, as a group. and dealing with the LAN cables and the fucking just like the sea of wires and stuff, and people tripping on stuff and
accusing the guy who has a modded Xbox of cheating.
Oh, Gavin, we gotta get back into it.
That was some fun times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we finally saved this kind of for last. Our opinions on Bloodroots. We each played a good chunk of it. I won't be surprised if we're almost at the exact same spot to kind of give our opinion so far. I think something that was really nice about this is, so after I played a good chunk of it, today I actually read an article on Gamasutra on the inspirations on it, and it's exactly what I was thinking, because when you're going through these levels, it reminded me a lot of like a Tony Hawk game.
Oh, okay.
Where you're like, I'm gonna take the route this way. I'm gonna do this, then to this, then to this.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Restart and do that. And he was definitely heavily inspired by that, which I got. They were inspired by Hotline Miami, which absolutely 200%. Although I still think they do enough with this to make it feel different than Hotline Miami. Specifically, you're changing weapons constantly in that. And Hotline, like,
I've only watched footage of Hotline. Yeah.
Oh, you may get a shotgun and like, you have 5 rounds, but you're gonna try and make every 5 rounds count. This, you're like swapping out weapons constantly.
Gotcha, yeah.
Like, I may not even use all my durability in a weapon. And then the other thing was Jackie Chan films. The way he'll just beat the ever living ship. Like, he's just grabbing random stuff, and I felt all 3 of those inspirations when I was playing it, and I feel like that's exactly what this game is.
You know what? And I'm pulling up footage from Game Informer. They're actually playing the game in its entirety, but I did feel this as well, where I felt like John Wick, as I'm just like grabbing stuff, feeling like a badass, like way more than the actual game that recently came out. Kind of made me feel, because it's just like once you get that flow and you're just feeling like a badass. But I had a hurdle getting to that flow because I kept dying immediately. But I know that's the point. The game is kind of punishing. You do have to figure out, the best route to take. But it's still fun. But how are you feeling with like you have 3, sometimes less, swings with the weapon before it breaks?
I think I'm usually, you typically, like when you memorize an area, and you definitely memorize these levels. Like
early on.
I have it planned out down to the hit. Like, where am I swapping out early? Where am I doing these? So it's definitely fun the way you plan out these levels. Try different stuff. Like he's like throwing a haystack at somebody and that'll stun them briefly, or jumping on a barrel. Yeah. I still haven't figured out how the fire works. I really like those little carts. You jump on the cart, it'll just mow someone over. You get to keep holding onto your weapon.
Yep. It seems like the fireworks just light people on fire when you do find them eventually.
Apparently they launch you with the fireworks. They launch you upward when you jump.
Didn't know.
And that's sort of the neat thing too. They describe the way they design these weapons is like, they all fall into like 4 categories. There's like the funny ones, like putting a fish down on someone's head
with a carrot. You can kill somebody, a grown man with a carrot.
Right.
Which I'm already in when you can do that in a game.
Right. There's movement ones. One of them, I think there's just regular, and then there's
you could throw
surprise, which is the goal with these weapons, is to surprise you with how they work. Like with the ladder, where you pole vault on, or no, it was like the ore where you pole vault on it.
Yeah, you can also whip it around and like just go a circle around you.
Yeah, but it's tremendously fun. I feel like the difficulty, you're not on the same platform, dude. I
had that happening to me a lot. I don't know if you experienced that with just gauging where I am. I kept falling off the world often or missing jumps. But I do like that the game does show you're not on the right plane, but there is a lot that's going on at the same time.
It's so pretty too. This game is just drop dead gorgeous. There are definitely a few times where the perspective makes it hard to really see what's going on, but
a little bit. It's not the end of the world, but I do feel that sometimes.
Yeah, it was a
blast. The music's also really dope.
Did you? I that was one of my complaints actually, is the music. I feel like it could be better, especially when you kind of compare it to its other games.
Hotline Miami?
Yeah, Hotline Miami. Yeah. They kind of compared it to like an Ape Out as well, which I don't think a Ape Out is the best comparison.
That's true.
Although I do like in that sort of subgenre. Oh, that's how you get up to that thing.
Did not know that. I didn't do that.
I didn't get up to. I
thought you used an ore or something to pop up there, but maybe not.
It's like Black Wolf's aura. I don't know. Did you beat the first boss?
The first boss I want to say is that there's like 3 lanes you're running up. And
the pig guy.
This laser blaster.
Yeah, the boar.
I did, but he was a pain in the ass. I kept missing the jumps. But I did. It was painfully hard.
Yeah.
And that's a personal gripe. I'm such a wimp.
I had a big struggle with this area right here.
See, I had a lot of struggle, and it never really went away, and it's only getting harder. But that was maybe where I could tell for me it was falling short because I wanted a bit more leniency on the like say it's always a one-hit kill thing. I wanted that reduced a little bit so I could have more fun. I did dabble with the invincibility option, which it makes it so you can't get hurt, which I don't like that either. I want to still have some like back and forth, but not the just one hit kill thing. That one turned me off personally just because I'm a wimp and I want to have fun. But I could tell, everyone else online seems to be having no problem with that.
Right. No, it's definitely interesting. I was definitely surprised, especially after you kill Mr. Boar. It seems like the action in this, even though it's really bloody and you're killing people in horrible ways, it doesn't seem that violent. Almost like it doesn't seem that not mature anyway. It's violent.
It's true, cartoony.
But it doesn't seem mature. And then you kill Mr. Boar and you can talk to his ghost and you can kind of get some of the backstory. And it's like the story is kind of mature.
Oh, really? See, I'm not listening or paying attention at all to the story. I
you're
should,
not?
because I know you can talk to the ghost.
Yeah.
I just go, yeah, that's cool, and I just keep playing the game.
Oh.
But I didn't know that there was something deep there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I'm surprised at like the swearing and the way people talk to each other in a very degrading way. It's like, okay, I'd be curious to see where this goes. I want to know why your character can only say, "Where is Mr. Black Wolf?" or whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah, I wasn't putting that together. But
yeah, he can only say one thing, it seems.
Almost like a Hodor situation where he's like traumatized from something.
Bit of a Hodor. Why did he come back from the death, like or from being dead? Like, is that what happened? It seems like that's what happened.
Yeah.
Or it's even like I'm getting a little bit, and this isn't too spoilery, but like, between Mr. Boar and the new character, it seems like we were all in a gang together, and Mr. Wolf, our character, was holding them back. It's like, okay, how's this all going to play together? Maybe we're secretly the bad guy the whole time. I don't know. But it's interesting. Those trees are a fuckery to climb up, though.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge like where you are exactly on it.
If you hit them just right, it'll chop it down and put you on top of it.
Oh, okay.
So when it works right, you just keep that continuous flow of momentum to kill. But sometimes you end up under it and just ruins your whole Tony Hawk grind ollie manual spree.
That reminds me, I do like that because there's also that feature when you're underneath like an awning or something, you can just jump and you'll just go through it.
Right.
And it's to help you with the speed, exactly like you're saying, where you can just keep moving.
Yeah.
Now I'm having fun. It's just I wish it was a little bit easier because I just keep dying over and over. And there's a time where it's like, okay, I don't want to keep repeating this stuff. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about it before over and over again, where as long as you feel like it's you that's failing and not the game that's freaking out on you, then that keeps you going, keeps you engaged. There were times though for me, and maybe it's because I'm playing on Switch, where I felt like I grabbed a weapon and I didn't in time, and then I died. I felt like I hit the person before they swung at me and I died. I felt like I was jumping on a platform, I missed it, or I jumped before I take off and I just go sink into the bottom. Right. That happened to me often enough where it's like, okay, what's going on here? But apparently, as I'm reading online, I'm the only one person experiencing this, so I got to figure that out. But
there's one thing I saw in the Gama Sutra article. They mentioned that there is I forget what it's called, like Looney Tune time, where if you walk off the edge of a cliff, you have so many frames to hit jump, and you'll still jump. It really felt to me like this game didn't have that, because there was definitely a moment where I kept like running off the same cliff over and over again. I'm like,
yeah, and you can't save it. You have to like jump before.
So maybe they need to make that a bit more generous.
Sure.
Because it just didn't feel like it had that feature at all.
Right. Yeah. There's also so we watched a character leave that main screen. There's like not helmets, hats you can wear that alter the game, but apparently it only alters like the previous level. So
only when you replay, which was interesting too, because that definitely feels like a callback to Hotline Miami, because you can play with different masks. Although that affects like the game as you're going through.
That's kind of what I prefer, but I guess it gives you an extra layer of replayability, so that's fine.
I don't know. It's a bit strange to me that you can't do that as you're playing.
Right.
The powers so far don't seem like something that would wreck the game.
Yeah. I know that this game has a lot of charm, so like the weapons are always just the way they keep upping the ante is hilarious. Like I had no idea of expecting like a chainsaw, and just like seeing those animations are just fucking awesome, and it just gets more and more ridiculous from there. But I do like you mentioned it is gory, but like it's still comical, it's still fun. You're not seeing any details, just like blood.
Yeah.
But no, I'm digging it. It's still very hard. I'm hoping it gets easier. I know it's not, but I can see what the buzz is about for sure.
Yeah. And it's still, I definitely, like, you compared it to, like, what a John Wick game maybe should have been. I definitely feel it when there are definitely scenes where it's just like, kill a guy, grab a thing, kill a guy, grab a thing, kill it. And that almost reminds me even a bit of, like, I don't know this is necessarily appropriate, but, like, the hammer hallway fight in
Old
Boy.
Old Boy, gotcha.
Right.
Where it's like the one shot, one take kind of thing.
Yeah, from the side. And like it's just this like desperate situation that you're handling people at one at a time. And it can be really tricky. If you get two people approach you at the exact same time, I almost 100% die. Yeah. Sometimes if you have just the right weapon, then you can survive. But yeah, it can be tricky with the timing too.
I wouldn't mind, like John Wick does in that recent game, once I do nail the level, a recap, seeing my playthrough.
Right,
just because this is one game where I do actually want to see how it works out when it does.
And I definitely, too, try, like, once I figure out my route, I try and find a route where I can keep that multiplier going and fill. If I can one continuous kill streak the entire level, that's always kind of my goal, which I can't always do.
For me, I'm just trying to stay alive, where it's like I throw that out the window. It's like, man, I'm barely fucking keeping it together in this game.
Right. And it's interesting, too, though, with those paths, and they did confirm that they designed it this way, where you can... there are multiple paths you could take. You could design. You could take. I
felt
the route
like that was going on. Maybe early on they're really trying to like get you down this corridor just to teach you the rules. But then I do feel like it's a bit more open. But yeah, I say I'm about like 4 hours in. I mentioned there's a chainsaw. That's where I know like just lengthwise where I'm at. I think I've tackled one more boss that has like some kind of rocket out of their butt.
You got to Miss Bison?
I think that's all. She came in the screen and then something happened. I don't know if that's just the next cutscene.
Oh, so, it's just the next cutscene.
Gotcha. So that's where I'm at.
I think I'm one level past you.
Gotcha.
Because I haven't fought her yet. So
I know some of the reviews have shown off footage of like later in the game, and there's like we can see a little bit over here. There's like a power plant looking thing going on, like with the neon. There's like cool desert neon going on.
Yeah. That wasn't really explained at all so far. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
No, but I guess it just visually kind of changes up the atmosphere. But
I'll be curious to see, like, so far they're introducing almost one per level an item that you interact with the world in a different way. So like right now, a lot of the weapons are kind of samey. So towards the end, are you going to be using a bajillion different kinds of weapons that are all completely bonkers?
Gotcha. I don't know.
Like,
yeah, there's a chain. I forgot about the chain.
The chain is really fun. The only thing I don't like about the chain is like right when you get it, they tend to pair it with 3 enemies, so you blow through it immediately.
Oh, gotcha.
But that fun little, you're pole vaulting here.
I died on here a lot, so much that I die here.
Oh, I didn't even know you could make that jump. I mean, I guess it's not that much. Yeah, it's definitely neat, and it was a cool decision too to make it where just punching a guy will make you extremely vulnerable.
Right. Because it's like a slow animation when you do it too.
So that was clever. Yeah. But yeah, feels like an action movie. Absolutely, really fun. Gorgeous.
Yeah. I'm really stoked. I do want to try and finish it and see, how the rest of the campaign goes. But I mean, it's already fucking dope. It's just a little too hard for me, but
yeah,
I'm also a baby. All right, Gavin, that's it for us this week. We'll end it here. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter @DrunkDevs.
Awesome. You can find us on Plastic Heart Pod on Twitter as well. That's it for us this week. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.